Drivers, start your engines, and thank you for what you do to keep America running. I'm Angela Roach, and this is Behind the Wheel, powered by HireMaster. If the pandemic taught us anything, it's the need for a strong supply chain, and that starts with drivers. As more than 70% of all goods are moved by truck, and with the shift in the supply chain to greater e commerce demands, truck drivers will continue to be in high demand as manufacturers continue to bring operations into the U.S. E commerce is currently a 1.5 trillion industry and is expected to be 7 trillion by 2025. Futurist Nicholas Badminton noted at the 2022 Recruitment and Retention Conference held earlier this summer that, quote, regional trucking by 2050 could be a predominant part of the industry, end quote. As trucking companies embrace that shift and move towards regional distribution, better driving opportunities stay closer to home and have never been greater. There will be an estimated need of an additional 160,000 drivers by the year 2030. So there's never been a better time to look for your next opportunity. In this week's health and fitness segment, let's go out to Dr. Mark Manera for this week's tip.
Did you know that 46% of truck drivers have some type of ache, pain, or discomfort? This study looked at over 100,000 truckers and found that the three areas that truck drivers reported the most pain in were low back, neck, and shoulder. So here's 3 exercises that will help you with those areas. Bodyweight RDLs, great for your low back. Think soften your knees and push your butt back. Face to armpit stretch. Hold for 10 seconds, do a couple times on both sides. Banded overhead press, great to build strength in your shoulders. Make sure you hold on to that band tight.
Thanks, Mark. You can find more great health tips from Dr. Mark Manera on TikTok at Dr. Mark Manera. In the news this week, the 43rd Walcott Truckers Jamboree kicked off Thursday in Walcott, Iowa at the Iowa 80 truck stop, the self-proclaimed world's largest truck stop, and lasted until Saturday. As several dozens of truck drivers, both from the U.S. and Canada, lined up their rigs for the annual Truck Beauty Contest, the needed break allowed time for drivers to discuss the challenges the industry is facing. In addition to diesel fuel prices still being higher than this time last year, freight prices per load continue to drop and are not keeping up with inflation. Ava Nelson, a truck driver in the U.S. and Canada who attended the Truckers Jamboree, expressed her frustration stating, quote, it's like a domino effect and everybody feels it, end quote. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of diesel nationwide is $5.59, which is up from $3.26 last year. The annual Jamboree featured a lineup of events, which included the Super Truck Beauty Contest, Antique Truck Display, Iowa Pork Chop Cookouts, vendor exhibits, Trucker Olympics, 2 fireworks displays, live concerts, and much more. To conclude the event, more than 90 trophies were awarded in 32 different categories. Also, in this week's news, hundreds of California truckers who haul cargo in and out of Los Angeles and Long Beach have demonstrated their disagreement of the AB5 by participating in a peaceful protest with the hope of being exempt from the law. The protest jammed traffic on the 710 South Corridor in Los Angeles, causing many drivers to upload videos and images to Twitter. The increased usage of hashtags regarding the traffic jam brought more attention to the protest taking place. Gene Soroka, the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, commented on the protest and said, quote, the trucker strike has had no impact on port operations, but officials are monitoring the situation, end quote. The protest organizers initially planned for a 24-hour demonstration, but a massive crowd of drivers responded with enthusiasm, and they plan to continue the protest moving forward. Out of California's roughly 70,000 owner-operators, a 28-year Long Beach driver voiced her support and said she would continue organizing the protests, quote, as long as the drivers continue showing up, end quote. In this week's Weather Watch, The weather has become much milder as the week has progressed. Earlier this week, there were record-breaking temperatures in the Great Plains and portions of the Mississippi Valley, followed by heavy rains in parts of the Midwest. The central and southwestern states continue to be impacted by the dangerous heat conditions. A strong cold front is pushing east of the Rockies, which will bring heavy showers and thunderstorms to states such as Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. As much of the United States has been dealing with warmer weather and less rain, many areas have started to dry out. In several states, we are seeing fire danger warnings and burn restrictions to reduce the risk of wildfire. The rest of this week will continue to be warm in most states. However, relief is on the way in several states from the record-breaking temperatures as we move into next week. And that's going to do it for Behind the Wheel. I'm Angela Roach. Be sure to follow or subscribe to catch each episode and leave us a like and a comment. We'll see you next time on Behind the Wheel, powered by HireMaster.